Okay, let's do this. Let's take the next 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. Get yourself right. Any last minute texts, emails, whatever you need to do so that I'm looking for and expecting 100% presence today. Sporting gear, clothing. Presents, they sound the same, but they mean two different things, otherwise known as? Presents. What's that called? Homophone. There you go. All right, we'll start 2 minutes when you're ready. Oh, no, we can't play music. Please stop that for a second. Music. Who's got music right now? Turn his off. Just break it. Just destroy it. I found out, for those of you, and I want to thank Bryce, who is probably observing this. It's Thursday, but you'll be watching this later time. All those videos that have been jacked up where you have no sound, realize that when you play music in the background, like during role play, during the breaks, there was copyright infringement, so YouTube blocks the sound. Take me 4 years to figure that out. So for all those videos that were like the best training I ever ran, I recorded it and there's no sound. It's not technical difficulties, it's copyright infringement. Damn it. So, all right.
You can submit a request and get rid of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or because you can just put credit to the music, like in the comments or something, and then say, I don't know this.
Okay, then I'm going to ask for that help at some point. Okay. That's, I never knew. That's funny. Gosh. Bryce said there was something came up that says this video sound has been taken off due to. So we're role playing.
All right.
They will take it off, Andrew? They'll take it off? Maybe. Like, don't bank on it, right?
They'll take it off temporarily. Business and then
Business, okay.
Do I have to, like, can I change?
like 6 days of the video, they'll be on.
What got you to that major?
Business
Or they may like
leave it.
Yeah, it's like an entrepreneur, so I thought it was
Basically, you'll just send them, like, you can file this video so they take off the copyright.
Okay.
And take
Michael,
for a
obviously,
very
I can't guarantee you.
This happens on like every video.
But since you were recommended by Daniel,
Good.
and he had some great things to say about you, by the way. Okay. I can at least save you a spot.
Broadcast is up.
Does that sound good? Yeah. I mean, I'm a little busy, but what we have available. Well, great. Well, since you came recommended, my manager did tell me to give you a priority schedule. So since you know someone that works here and they thought you'd be a good fit for the job, my manager would prefer to meet with you before the other random applicants, if that makes sense. So because of that, I'd like to get you in here to meet with him as soon as possible. What's your schedule like over the next few days?
Maybe class is Thursday and Friday, but Friday afternoon, if you have some work.
Look at our schedule here. And do you have anything else that's going on that might give you a way of coming in?
Not
Besides class?
nothing that's planned right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Michael, great news. It looks like my manager can see you at, say, 6:15 on Friday, right after you finish up and everything. How's that sound?
Do you have anything earlier than that?
We can see you at 4:15. That'd be more convenient.
Okay, yeah, let's do the 4:15.
Okay. Now, I do want to make sure that I have all your information correct. So I've got your first name is Michael, and your last name is
Okay.
It's M-U-S-I, B as in boy.
All right, you got less than 30 seconds. Let's get right. And we'll stop role playing. Whatever you got to get done, get your notes out, laptops up. All right, I'm just curious, who does not have a laptop? Four, okay. Four. We'll trust you to have some extensive notes. Might want to ask one of your fellow members to also send you the notes afterwards. Franco, please, could you turn the volume on that thing to like a 1? Should be the middle button, I think. The blue one. Oh, there you go. Thank you. I really want to play music.
Can you mute? What if you mute your microphone when we take a break?
Can you?
You do that in the middle of a broadcast? You can, that would negate the hearing the music. I don't know.
Yeah, can you do that? Can you mute? Ah, mute. So I have no shame. I've rewatched all 6 episodes,
Yeah.
1.5 times, not twice. So I watched all 6, and I watched 4, 5, 6 a second time. 1 through 6, 4, 5, and I gotta do 6. I mean, you have to do 6 right before, so everything's kind of fresh in your head.
Where did you watch it? I'm trying to find
Where did I watch it? In my bed.
it. I know, but like,
You don't own them?
I watched
What's that?
You should own them.
we should all.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have a DVD thing.
Actually, I did it through a program which now I think is illegal. It's called Popcorn Time,
I don't think
and now they don't.
Yeah.
But mine still works. So I might go to jail, but that's okay. It was worth it. All right. Anyway, Pao, do me a favor. Can you text, please, that you're good to go, that you can hear me right now, and then we'll be ready to roll because I don't want to start. Oh, I'm so excited. Now I figured out how not to get blocked. So we'll do a quick round. If you're remote, we'll have you post what's hot, what do you appreciate. We'll start here. We go with Gavin, and I'm looking for the condensed 10-second or less version. Please, 10 seconds or less. What's hot? What do you appreciate, Mr. Gavin? Shoot.
It's hot. We're on the cusp of a big push. A lot of recruiting, and what do I appreciate? I appreciate all the energy in the room. It's nice to have the room full of people.
That's right. Respect.
What's hot? I just booked an appointment on the way here, so that's cool. Last minute appointment. Just being here, being better. You know, I think we take our health for granted. You know?
We do. We do.
What I appreciate is being better. I also appreciate everybody in this room and just seeing all these faces.
Good. Yeah. Don't take your health for granted. That's your number one asset, right? Your energy. So, or one of your number one assets. We'll go Andrew and then Franco.
What's hot is being here in the flesh, and what I appreciate is having a break from school, and sort of break, and being one.
Good. Awesome. Welcome back. Good to have you. Could you please text Pao and ask her if she can hear? Franco, you're up.
What's hot for me is done with finals, so I have that off of my mind and have more time now to focus on outcomes.
Yeah, it's interesting how the sales start to come a little bit more. There's more PRs coming in. It's not that you couldn't sell the last few months. It's not that the PRs didn't come in, but there's a reprioritization of what you have and your time availability, right? And that's natural. Now here's the challenge, maybe not for next year, but even so for the spring. How can you still get some of the results some of you are getting now? Thank you. Some of the results you're getting now, post-school, during school, and then the results post-school this spring are better. You guys follow me on that one? And I'll have a comment about that in a second. Trans1.
It's hot. 2 PRs launched. And then we're going to appreciate just having the people that aren't usually here.
Yeah. And even your original manager. How funny is that? Good. Kayla.
What's hot? I guess just kind of being back, just kind of in the office, like seeing people
summer.
Good.
What I appreciate, I would say weather, because it's nice that I don't have to like plan my outfits like every day. I don't know. I'm used to weather like being really cold. So
Yeah.
it's not with layers. So it's nice.
You might appreciate this. So you know how he lives in Delaware. I live here, and it's just it causes fashion bipolarization. You know, it's really hard to. I mean, first world problems, right? I can't decide to whether wear my fashionable winter jacket or my really cool rain jacket or no jacket. But we have awesome weather down here. FC is that's one of the perks of being an FC. David,
What's hot is Star Wars.
someone had to say it.
And what do I appreciate is George Lucas letting them make another Star Wars.
There you go. Good. I do too. So normally I'd ask you to make it cut related, but you get to pass on that
Been
one.
waiting for this for so long.
What's hot is that I'm really excited for this next push after Christmas. And what I appreciate is being here because I haven't been in the Inferno for a while.
Yeah, welcome home. It's good to have you, Annie. Good, and I got a chance to see Annie. I would have made it part of my keynote, but I didn't want to make this a long opening comment. But I got a chance to watch the my alma mater, University of Maryland, play at the ACC Big Ten Challenge at University of North Carolina, and I didn't want to tell Annie I was there on purpose. So there's this, I guess it's like the best bar there. I would call it like one of the best bars called Top of the Hill, as in like Chapel Hill. So I just take a picture of the napkin and I send it to her, and she's like, "Oh my God," right? And so we end up meeting up during the game. It was pretty awesome. So good to see Annie. Eli.
What's hot, definitely being here, seeing faces that, of course, I see normally, but then seeing faces that I don't see very often. It's always awesome. What's appreciated is just the time I have here in the office. It really reminds me why I'm here.
And why are you here?
To learn.
There you go. I like that. Mr. Blake.
Was hot. Starting to get demos this upcoming weekend, and I have one PR launch so far, so I'm just looking to go from there.
Good.
What I appreciate just the energy, just seeing everybody.
Yeah, we have great energy.
Yeah.
Great energy. So like,
What's hot is that since being back
Humor
from
me.
school,
turn towards me. Humor me.
what's hot is
We have
that
such good-looking people. Why not like show it, right? Everyone's so good-looking here. Go ahead.
I've run a lot of interviews since being back here, which
Awesome.
is really great, and they're starting to feel a little shorter, you know. So
Yeah.
that's good, and I appreciate having the opportunity to come back here, you know, for a little while.
And how many since you've returned?
It's got to be like 5.
Good. Who remembers? I say this for a year. I haven't said it as much lately, but what's the range of interviews you need to run typically before the light bulb goes off and you go, "Oh, I really understand Antoine. What's going on?" What's that? It's 15, but I usually say a range. It's for years. Maybe I haven't said it enough for you to know it. 7 to 12. 15, I think you got it. But somewhere between 7 and 12, and you'll be running the interview. It's like, just introduce my, and it's like, oh, and everything opens up, and you can see clearly now, and it's like, wow, I really understand what I'm saying, why I'm saying, how I'm supposed to say it, and I can now self-critique myself. I can now say, ooh, that was a bad interview, versus right now, you don't know it's a bad interview until Daniel watches and goes, ooh, that was a bad interview. Okay. I'm going to wrap up with Karina in 2 seconds. I have 2 quick thoughts before I dive into opening comments and Karina. And I'm going to read Pau and David's what's how they appreciate. You know, the sizes of the divisions vary depending on, recruiting, depending on the size of the district teams. And we have a smaller district team, and we're also spread out through 2 countries, to mainland of Florida and La Isla, Puerto Rico. And what makes it really interesting is the dynamic. You guys don't know any different, but there will be preps that are probably closer to 40, 50, 60 people, right? I think North Florida's running a prep. They're including reps too. We are not. I decided not to. They're gonna have an excess of 80 people at the prep. And I don't think one's better than the other. One's certainly bigger than the other, for like size-wise for sure. And one of the things I've always taken for, not for granted, sorry, that's not what I was gonna say. One of the things I always really took to heart, rather, and was very proud of from the old division, and ironically enough, I was wearing an old DC Metro sweatshirt to work out today. And the new division here is that we're going to have a large team, right? But year after year, it's more about, we really have this really amazing sense of family in this core unit, almost like a really powerful army and then special ops. And David Delgado will appreciate that, like special forces. So there's the fleet, the Navy, and there's the Navy SEALs kind of deal. So one of the things I love is that we really have taken for the past couple of years almost like the Navy SEAL approach. We might be smaller, but man, we're going to bring. But one of the things I will tell you is that in the next coming few years, I think as the new 3.0 version of FC starts to emerge, and it has been, by the way, you'll start to see, imagine a special ops forces unit, but that also gets bigger kind of deal. So I think no matter what we do, I think we will always maybe that's a limiting belief, but we will have attendance issues because we're not always going to fly Puerto Rico up, right? And there was one year where if you combine the island of Puerto Rico and mainland, you get just as large of an attendance as other events. So why am I saying that? Because when you have an environment, the key is not to complain what you don't have. The key is to embrace what you do have. For example, if you're in this group, there are advantages of being in the large group, but there are a lot of also what? Disadvantages. So what's the advantage of being in a smaller group? It's not small, but a smaller group rather. Like I think we're about in the middle of all the divisions right now. What's the advantage of being less than 20 in a session, less than 10 in a session?
More attention.
More tension.
More personal.
More personal. Okay, right. So connection. How about something more tactical, not feel good, even though those are both very important.
You get to know everybody.
Okay, but something more tactical, technique, if you will.
Better training.
Better training, ready, and it's laser focus. Okay, so don't take that for granted. That's a really important point. Plus, we have people taking finals, and good luck to all of you taking finals that are watching this later on. Some people are en route, and I think one of you is on a plane. Okay, so second thing, I'm really excited for this prep, and I'll have Karina and the districts wrap us up. Death zone is officially over. Right. We made it, and there are a few casualties, as always. There's always casualties in death zone, but what's great is who emerges from death zone, survival of death zone. That's such a big deal, right? And we always try to downplay death zone, but looking back now, one of the things I can say moving forward is that from Olean until now is a time where most candidates find themselves weary, and we tend to lose people in death zone, meaning dropouts of AGL, dropouts of Dec Dropper 2. That's like very natural progression. But what's great is the people who last to this point. If you're at this prep or watching this video, you have survived the hardest part of management training. So guess which part of management training just to prepare is going to be the hardest?
French.
Yesterday. Hardest part of training is done. I'm quoting training, day one. Never mind. Yeah.
I got it.
All right. So death zone's over, and it really wasn't that bad for this group because I think it's worth debriefing one of the slides. What went well in the last few months? Because if you raise your hand and you say, Jeff, I didn't really feel like this death zone because there were things you did or we did, and some are involuntary, by the way, that really insulated you from all the issues of death zone and possibly falling off the cliff and quitting. And some of you literally were on the cliffhanger, holding on for dear life, and someone caught you, like in the movies where they can catch one hand, and physically it's almost impossible because you can't really be that strong, but maybe you can be, and pull you up. Okay, and hopefully that person was me or someone next to you. Okay, so what do you appreciate quickly, Daniel?
I appreciate quality.
Pauly who? Quality.
Quality reps coming in the
Like Pauly Shore.
And I appreciate what's not is steroids today. Signed one really sharp steroid this morning and have 2 more steroids this evening.
Yeah.
So really excited about that.
You've been on a run. I think 5 in 2 days. Going to be 6 or 7. Nice. Good. We'll do Powell. Powell appreciates the receptionist team and how they're ready to start the Text Blast program with the old list and their excitement. Well, it's hot. Good combo with Yvonne and a couple of candidates to continue the PR surge. Love it. And I'm looking for David Delgado. Team getting fired up to work and reach goals now that the classes and finals are out of the way. What do you appreciate the support of FC staff to help us grow and Jefe Chino's face? Okay.
And outfit.
Korean and outfit, sure. Thank you. Rule of thumb, gentlemen, only one loud piece. What's my loud piece? You tell me what's my loud piece. Yeah. Shirt. Pocket square. Tie.
Inside jacket.
Face.
Black.
Ooh, face. No, just fancy, like loud. Okay. So let me dive in. I want to get to work. I'll preface this. This meeting, traditionally in every year, is a half a day or 1 day AGL prep, a half a day staff meeting for just the districts, and then some type of push planning and assistant manager development meeting for the entire division. One of the things that came across a few weeks ago is just an audible that we were just going to make this a full-blown prep and get every manager in. Here's why. I think getting the most important people, I want this to be an example, hopefully, of you got to work on the big things, right? We need to run a push meeting for reps that are new. That's important. We need to have a district staff meeting, like a full-blown one, to plan the next 3 months. We do those every few months. That's important. But what's going to move the business at that time? So a lot of times you have to make calls, aka audibles, aka changes in what was supposed to be planned to really go towards what's important. Like, for example, today we had an interview scheduled by Gavin, who's learning the interview. 3 really sharp candidates walk in. We're trying to build a seminar. I only run 4 trainings this time. The next time I run training after this will either be Christmas, maybe the week after, and then my next training is May. And the last time I ran training before last week was June rather. So the call was made. I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna run the interview because they're really sharp people. I won't always do that. So here, I'm gonna switch out. We might take a little bit of a hit on the DM staff meeting. I don't think we will, because we've been talking every day. We might and probably will take a hit on spreading the word about AM opportunity to these new reps and push planning. But we're gonna do versions of that. But I want you to think about, you don't have to always hit the schedule, and sometimes you have to make those calls. That's the first thing. Number 2, it's just really cool to be able to do what the hell you want when you run your own office. I mean, you really can. I was on a conference call. They said, tomorrow you're doing this, right, everybody? I said, I'm not. And someone said, well, why are you changing it? And my answer, I was just being a smartass. I said, it's because I can. I'm a division manager, and you can do the same thing too. And it was just like, oh, right. So, anyway, what taught us this prep? What I appreciate are all of you here willingly and choosing to be put in a position of growth. I appreciate our district managers. I appreciate Daniel, our PSM, and so many things. So I only have only one this time, not 10 random thoughts. Anyone know what this is? Raise your hand, don't yell it out. Raise your hand if you know what this is. Raise your hand, do not yell it out. Raise your hand high if you're confident. Would you bet $1,000? You cannot answer because you talked about it this morning.
Is it a cryogenic?
It is a cryogenic chamber, okay? So it's this new it's not really new technology, but what it is, it's a chamber. It looks like a tanning salon, tanning booth, right? And liquid nitrogen is injected into this chamber, and it drops the temperature to -200, between 200 and 300 degrees Fahrenheit below 0, okay? And then a human body, willingly, myself, will put a pair of booties, like these winter booty socks, gloves, and then your underwear, just so as not to damage, future gimbals, right? Okay. And they drop the temperature, and you go on for a total of 2 minutes. And it has the same effect as an hour ice bath for those that are athletes. And why ice bath? To prevent what? Swelling and to take down inflammation post-injury. So what it is, it's a really cool new technology, expensive technology. It's expensive for the service, and it's also expensive for the device. But it's technology in order to really get still the same result. I've been on it because I finally got diagnosed with a major injury that I didn't think was major, and I'm fixing it now. That's why I'm able to work out the way I want to. But you got to take care of your body to your health, to a point. But I don't have time for ice baths, and those things hurt. Yeah. You ever tried to beat an ice bath?
That's the worst.
Yeah. So I would rather pay a little bit more money, a lot more money, to do this for 2 minutes, and it doesn't hurt the same way, but get essentially the same result. So why in the world, how does this tie into everything? 2 things. The same result though, right? We want to take down inflammation, recover from injury, be ready to kick butt. So you invest in money. In this case, $70 a session. It's expensive. I worked it down because I'm in sales. But the same result is what? Healing, essentially. But this is like an innovative way. And I think that's so much of where Cutco's gone right now, with Facebook blasting, with steroid PRs. I mean, I don't even know how we came up with the word steroid. But there's so many innovations, but at the end of the day, you're still just trying to get recruits, okay? And does this work? I believe it works. I've done several sessions before, even this week, and I'm a sold client now at this point. But you got to really find ways to be innovative. But the other lesson is, what's your time worth to you? You see, I don't have time to spend an hour and a half in an ice bath. And besides the pain, that's like the sissy part of my answer. Besides the pain, my time is very valuable, because what can I really get done in that in the extra hour and 27 minutes that I'm not in the ice bath, and the drying off and getting ready after, and the 30 seconds of screaming at the top of your lungs before you get in, right? So think about your time. Think about, is your time worth investing money, maybe not into a cryogenic chamber, by the way, but what is your time worth, and who do you give your time to, and what do you give your time to? Sleep, that's important. Health, what you put in your body, and so forth and so forth. So what I want to do, I want to do a quick debrief. Let's talk about 3 things. New light bulb, you guys see that? It's a new one. And you don't have to write this down. I just want you to be ready to debrief. I'm going to give you 30 seconds for a couple of seconds for each one. I want your best thoughts on what are the biggest lessons you took from the fall campaign, aka the death zone. Okay, so let me give you 60 seconds. So I want you to write down your thoughts. I'm going to hit the music. I am going to pause the mic, or mute the mic rather. Okay, stop. The next one. What's your biggest move in the next 2 to 3 weeks during your winter break? Some of you have a longer break. Some of you literally it's just once New Year's is done, you're back on the 3rd or 4th. What's the biggest move for you to get in a much better position for acceptance into a management role this summer with our team? In other words, how do you put yourself from B squad to A squad, if you know what that means? How do you maintain yourself A squad? How do you be a person, if you have a letter of intent in that at the end of this month of January, rather, beginning of February, there's no doubt that we have to give you a territory because you are trained and you're funded. All right, we'll start there. Give you 1 minute. Mute the mic. Okay, stop. Last one. We'll give you another minute. Spring's coming up. So once the break is over, give me your top biggest moves, things to focus on, action steps to have a fast start to the summer, meaning what can you really focus on? Top 2 or 3 things this spring to make sure your summer rocks, and some thoughts on how can you take your training to the next level? What can you physically, mentally, and structurally, if you will, do to set yourself up for an increase in your training? In other words, if the way you trained was here, baseline in the fall, how do you double the amount of productivity, double with the results in the spring campaign? Mute the mic. Princess Leia Stadium. Okay. I can tell in the first to Gavin's son's point, the point that he doesn't verbally say. I can tell in the first 2 measures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you pick a partner. I'm going to pick a partner, and we're going to do this a lot today. We do a lot of role playing. We're also going to do a lot of hair share. Okay, so you got to find your partner for the event. Let's make it 2 of you, Franco, the 2 of you with Gavin, 2 of you in the back. Let's see. Actually, I'll take Andrew. When we pair share, I'm going to have you pair with Karina, just because of experience-wise. Okay. I'll have Kayla with Franco. Okay. David and Antoine, Moose and Gavin, 2 of you in the back, 2 up here. Okay, so we'll pair share, and I want you to take a little bit of time to cover this, a little bit of time to cover this, a little bit of time to cover this, and then we'll share with the group. Okay, so a couple of thoughts. See what comes up. What good stuff we get. Ready? Muting off. Okay, we'll stop. Let's do a little bit of sharing. And if you're broadcasting, feel free to jot a couple of thoughts also on the WhatsApp. So let's go with the first one. Anyone want to share some of their best light bulbs of what essentially has caused you to be at this point, good or bad, but you're still here? Right? Some of you are limping, some of you are running into it. Annie.
Well, I kind of took this quote from Larry Manley because he always says that you're either green and growing or you're brown and dying. So it's just how you spend your time determines what kind of person you are. And you can either not do anything with your days and not become anything, or you can actually go out and pursue something.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Good point. Mr. Blake.
A quote that I got, which is, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it.
So, meaning what?
Meaning, depending on whatever the situation you have that's in front of you, how you react to it then determines your action. So if you react like, oh, woe was me, then there goes your action. Whereas if you're like, okay, well, let me figure out a way how I can actually do this, how I can get back on track, then it's like, okay, boom, totally different situation, two different roads.
If you could forward life 50 years and look back, everything you're really stressed about, you'd really appreciate later as not that big of a deal, or wish I could have handled it better, or one of the two, I think, or some version of that, I think, my opinion. Other, Eli?
Just overall, always have confidence in your leadership, but also check and recheck. Just check and recheck, because a stupid question is a question not asked.
Okay. Other things from, what were some big light bulb moments from the fall? We'll go Franco and come to Musabe.
For me, being the second year going through the fall cut code is just really learning from last year and not doing the same mistakes as I did last year, and really just prioritizing better. And because last year I was really bad at prioritizing, it'd be very bad if I went through the same thing as I went last year, because then I would be telling you I would be wrong.
Yeah, it's like going through 8th grade again, and then do it again. But I'm the best in 8th grade, and you're still in 8th grade 3 years later. Right? I think, well, again, you're 17. You don't want to be. How about that for a quote? No. Don't be in 8th grade at 17. Ideally, yeah. Moose.
My planner was huge. Just being able to, I wasn't really the best at managing my time. So being able to plan out everything and see that has really helped me to succeed.
Awesome.
School and work.
So planner usage. Does anyone have that as one of their using high value in planning? Good. I'll come, Karina had your hand up. Then we'll go Karina, then Andrew.
We had the same thing actually for the fall, which is like just focusing on like a few less things, like laser focus, if you will. Just helps a lot.
Yeah, like when you have less things on your plate, you can do more efficient and perform better. The things that you're working on.
So, depends on who you talk to and what talk you're giving, who you're training. There's the concept of the one thing. Some of you have heard that before, or stopwatch Sunday for the district. So what really moves the business? Or can you be really great at 3 things this week, or 3 things you get really great at this semester, versus kind of just dabbling in 10 or 15 different things, right? That's why, part of protecting your time is in that. When some of you miss your calls and you ask, can I get another call? Say you can next 2 weeks when I have the call set up again in my schedule, because you and me adjusting my schedule for your missed call dilutes what I was going to get done on that Friday. Even though you're available, I wasn't available. I was available at the time we agreed to. And that way it takes also being personal. It's not like, hey, Andrew, you're scum for missing. You are a piece of scum, a small piece of scum. Green, but brown and dying piece of scum. Yeah. And that's how I feel about you about missing our call. Versus, you missed our call, but on Friday when you're available, this is what's important to me, and I got to get that done. For me, Fridays are blank, fill in my division manager Fridays. Cool? All right, cool. Other takeaways in the fall? How about from number 2, biggest moves? And if you're broadcasting, feel free to put these on the WhatsApp. We'll share. Naya says, knowing what parts I need to improve and focusing on that circle of influence and avoiding the naysayers. And Hefe's handsome face. Yeah, the team. Okay. Biggest move for the winter break. I actually would like everyone to go in like 3 seconds or less. I'm just going to go around. Your biggest move.
CPO despite a real big performance schedule.
Okay, so Jamaica push.
Yeah, I was going to say get to Jamaica.
Okay. You know, selling a lot of Cutco in the next 2 weeks. Someone made the comment to one of our DVMs, and they kind of had not a call. It was like a, hey, I'll say Larry because it wasn't Larry. Hey Larry, you know, just push, man. I feel like you're just trying to get us to sell a lot. And Larry goes, oh my God, you got it. Right? It was almost like a, I see what you're doing. And then Larry's like, but everyone else saw that 2 months ago. We are indeed trying to get you to sell a lot. For all the things that happened, not just from an income standpoint, because a third of AGL, a third of Eastern Region Management Training doesn't need the startup or the money. 2/3 probably does. Right? For some people, it's earning a position. For some people, it's the mental fortitude and the thick skin you'll get. For some people, I would say if you're under 20K in sales, you still need to learn how to sell. I would say 30, or that might be a little too brash, but if you're under 30K in sales, I still think you don't know how to sell Cutco at a high level. And I think you have to be over 250 to start thinking, oh, I'm really good at selling Cutco here, so therefore I can sell other places. That seems to be a common theme. Yes, you're getting great sales experience for people your age, but because you can sell 15 grand in knives doesn't mean you can sell a lot outside of the world. Okay, got it. Stop. Quick. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be short. So ready? And so biggest move. Biggest move.
Biggest move, getting a car, selling one.
There you go. Everyone post biggest move.
Selling.
Okay.
Being more.
Okay.
So
Selling.
selling more, running interviews.
There you go. I agree.
Selling.
Good.
Building a game plan with Lewis and saying videos.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you.
Providing more assistance.
Yes. Good one.
Rebuilding momentum.
Okay, we're talking about biggest move to make the winter break big for you. Soleil?
Running interviews and being consistent.
Okay, I just want to point out Soleil has Kohan Lunar Airs. That's a shoe. That's it. I just really want to point that out because I love those shoes. Kohan Lunar Air. Lunar Air referring to the technology at the bottom of the sole. Oh, formerly owned by what company? Nike, now no longer, I believe. Or maybe still, or something about Nike. And last one.
Learning training.
Say it again.
Just learning training.
Learning training. I agree. Okay. You can take a look at the WhatsApp. Let's do this. Last one. Spring move. What's your biggest move to make to be more efficient, increase your training, and a fast start to summer will go very quickly. You get 3 seconds or less. Ready? Starting with Gavin. Go.
Sponsorships.
Get sponsorships. Yes, so more startup.
I think it's more of an application of my fall desk zone. So sticking in the planner, keeping 80%.
Yeah, don't go back to 8th grade.
Yeah.
No more 17-year-old 8th graders. Although the dominance we would have had we done so, huh? Can you imagine being 17 in high school? Like, oh, pow, right? I would have been starting everything. I would have been starting everything, yeah.
I would say doubling my training and just overcommitting myself.
Okay. Jamaica in the spring?
Well,
Oh, okay. I got you.
Establishing good habits and getting them into the role of muscle.
There you go.
Working out recruiting.
Working out with Karina?
Recruiting.
Or you can work out with Karina. That's fun too.
Coming into the office more frequently and being better at like planning.
There you go. Eli.
I'm not going to be here, but definitely taking what I learned here and applying it outside of it.
There you go. I love it.
Getting out of finals early and asking for more responsibility.
Good. Soleil.
Getting discipline over myself and my time.
Okay.
Working on the focuses we talked about.
Yeah, and I'm going to share those actually. Daniel and Andrew's conversations this week helped me to prep together.
Steroid momentum.
Steroid momentum. I love that because of what it can do. It's the biggest move possible. If you want to change everything, there's a saying, if you want to build your office, it takes how many weeks if you've been around? 3 weeks to change your office, right? Steroids, literally, it's a steroid, and you can do it in 1 week. You really can do it in 1 week.
I would say implementing systems and for the summer. So really just using it as a good transition.
Okay. And I want to talk about that for a second. Thanks for sharing, everybody. I want to talk about making sure that it's a technique, not talent. But don't forget your talent. And I'm going to remind you of that theme, where if you're sound in the basics and you're sound in the systems that are important, you don't have to think. Some of you have watched my training with wax on and wax off and muscle memory, and you're not thinking. But We had a really great impromptu prep on Saturday last week. I was supposed to run day 3 of training, but no one launched. What an awesome division manager. So it goes to show that you and the DVMs have terrible trainings. But we decided to run a prep, part of which is going to be video. We're going to show the video of the prep today. And the thing I want to share is that biggest takeaways, and Luke texted me right after. He said, that is the best prep I've ever been to. And it was like not even supposed to be a prep. Right? What did we do, Kayla? We spent like 5 hours. I put 5 topics and I just spoke. And I thought it was awesome. But Luke referenced just understanding the flow and the systems of things, okay? And a big lesson for Daniel in the pilot I want to share is just not recognizing, right? I think sometimes we recognize the wrong things. Hey, Blake, you're awesome today because you're just awesome. And we over awesome people out of the business, right? Hey, props to so-and-so. Props to Blake for selling $2,000 this week. I think that's like middle school, kindergarten. How about props to Blake? Now you notice he sold $2,000, but every day this week, Blake was here at 8 a.m. for the workshop. Blake, can you talk about those things for a second? What was the difference between the first one? He's just awesome because he is a person. But you know what? Some of you have created, there are people who create great results, not some of you. People who create great results are not really good people in life. Or you got a really good result, but you didn't really feel good about it. So recognize, what do we say? Process, not person. Recognize maybe that's a new lesson for you. Really work on recognizing the process, not the person. Although the person is great, but you want people to mimic that process. Because what if I don't know how to be awesome like Anthony Blake? But I know how to be awesome. Oh, well, he was awesome because he came every day for the phone jam. I will do that too. Just be wary of how you're recognizing people. Someone said it in Olean, you're paid what you're worth. Well, depending on when and what time of the year and how your family life is going, you might not get paid anything if you're paid your worth. Because I know about a year ago, I was pretty worthless mentally. Like, I had a lot of stuff going on. But if you're not paid your worth, how about you're paid to the value you bring to the team? You're paid because of the leadership you bring and the results you bring to the team. That's process, not what? Not person, right? Or perfection, or perfect person. Right, Karina. See what you did there. Sorry. Okay. The branch manager opportunity is still live and in effect. And everybody, we talked about building a business your first year, and then a second-year branch is to do what? Grow and develop a business. And we have several people doing that as well. I just had a deployment call with Scott, and still, again, for the 5th year in a row, we're going to be taking FC people, filling FC, and then some. And what's so great about that is we weren't the biggest division going into the fall. We had 6, by the way, there were 6 other divisions with many, many candidates, and the 2 divisions that are going to get their shots to fill, again, are going to be North Florida and Florida Caribbean. It's only because of the water down here. That's it. Yeah, that's it. With no results, no talent, not the leadership.
The sun.
It is, no, it's the water. Okay. But here's what I will say. I'm going quickly through this. If you are funded and you are trained, you will get an opportunity to run a territory. And it's still, in my opinion, and one of the reasons I do this, it's still the biggest and greatest opportunity for an undergraduate student to separate themselves. And don't take that for granted. In fact, we have 2 branches here that have run an office before. Impromptu. Think about your first branch summer last year, and gosh, feels like 10 years ago. Biggest 2 things you took from being a branch the first time, and doesn't have to be the feel good. What you think Jeff wants you to say? Answer like.
First time, the only time for me was I thought I was a good multitasker. I wasn't until I branched. And that's when you really start learning how to run an office as a whole. Because I knew how to run training, I knew how to run interviews, I knew how to do a lot of things in the business, but to run it as one is you can't learn that until you do it.
Yeah, I agree.
You take that everywhere else.
Okay. And then Andrew, how about you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just learning all the little things that go into actually running a business. It's easy to not sell Cutco, and then you have to learn how to
Top three things that are business applicable universally that you learned.
Number recruiting is always just in any kind of business, whether you're one day recruited or you're recruiting them. Any business is important. Scheduling, whether it's scheduling your receptionist, scheduling yourself, scheduling your meetings, and running those meetings. I mean, everything's applicable.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think-
I
I'm
agree.
trying to think- I think those are the biggest three that no matter what you're doing, whether you're the business owner or your employee, anything that's going to be applicable.
On the spot.
There's a lot of other things that go into it.
Yeah.
Too,
And every business has their version of a receptionist kickoff meeting. Set the tone with your most important recruit or revenue generators. Every business has their version of a staff meeting, of a team meeting. If not, you should implement it and watch what happens. Right? Every business has their version of PDI, of monthly training, AGL for them. And I think if you learn to take these concepts and think, oh, I'm not just doing a Cutco biz, like Andrew said, you're in business, if you will. And we also talk about the DM model. I'm really excited for many reasons since our South Beach DM retreat and leadership day, which was awesome, to now, to future districts like Naya, Dorcas, Mr. Gavin over here, future district candidates, and the people that I have with no shame obnoxiously told you that I'm going to try and recruit you for district at some point. Andrew, we had that conversation many times. Like, doesn't matter. Take it as a compliment because of how much we really believe, and I specifically believe, in what DMing can do for you. I'll share a quick story. I talked to Kate Arbuthnot probably 6 times this week already. One of my dear, if not my dearest friend, fellow division manager, former PSM for 2 years, former assistant. Just having a great, she's talking about her wedding next year. Kayla now trains with her up there in DC Metro. And we were talking about her being a district manager. And she said, you know, one of the things that really attracted me to the business with you, and one of the things I think that helps me be a great division manager, is that I really believe that being a district manager is an awesome job. It might not be a career for a lot of people, but it's a great, do it for 3 years and then keep deciding if you want to do it for another 3 years kind of deal. And I really believe in it. We talked about her thinking this was a career and why she's experienced more success because she's got more of a long-term focus. But regardless, this is alive and well, and we're still, as a company, looking to develop ways for this to be a great opportunity, whether it's the Beamer Club. And I know that's kind of materialistic, but man, what a cool materialistic thing to be excited about. Right? I mean, I just think that's great. Right? Not because you're BMW and arrived, but it's cool to drive a nice car and everyone have the same car. That's kind of cool. It's like, can you imagine driving on the highway, all the districts kind of weaving in and out, like a commercial? That'd be cool. Yeah. Oh, I think you said everything. Okay. I also want to talk about the district manager comp model. Okay, and this is actually in your folder. If you have your laptops out, feel free to open up the opening comments folder. And there is a document that I'm going to keep open for everybody, not just the district managers, but we're going to review this DM team in the spring. It's called the DM comp model. And if you take a look, it looks like this. And this is great because this is not vector influenced. Okay, this is not vector people talking about vector people. This was an outside consulting project done in 2003, 4, and 5. And what they came up with is both the division manager and district manager comp model. Why am I sharing this with you? Because a couple of you in the room are current districts. So for Karina, David for the most part, not quite yet, Daniel for Powell. And then some future aspiring district managers. I forgot Grace, Dorcas, Naya, Gavin. Right? And also for branches that want to take it higher. If you want to take it higher, don't train to be your current position, train 2 levels up to be a successful district manager. It's a comp model. And what they did is through research and observation and interviewing, 7 critical competencies appeared to be the most closely associated with superior performance at the DM role at Vector. This is from an outside source. Team leadership, interpersonal understanding, potential and talent identification, develops others, achievement drive, planning and organizing, persuasion and influence. This list is not arrayed in order of importance. Each comp is equally important. And what's cool about the model is that it goes through each comp, which in this case, team leadership, it defines it. And it lists all the characteristics of a pretty solid team leader in district position, strong and mastering. So how do you use it? If you're a branch manager, it's worth going through and just thinking about, okay, it's going to point out things you probably don't even think about. Current district managers, I would say This is going to be great because we're going to evaluate this. I'm going to have you give yourself a score. I'm going to give you a score. We're going to talk about it. It'll be a great, really objective, focus on the process, not the people type exercise. Okay? I encourage you to do the same thing. Maybe you could do the same thing for what does it take to be a great key staff member. List it off and do that feedback with your team at some point, some level in your organization. Cool? Is this helpful stuff? Okay. And then we'll wrap up and we'll actually take a stretch in between the opening comments. A squad versus B squad. So at the next prep in January, we're going to separate the group. We're going to have a B squad training and A squad training. B squad means you are not on pace to running an office, but you still have an opportunity to have a major assistant paid role for the summer of 2016. Okay? So in order to stay on A squad, you have to be minimum over 1,000, but closer to 1,500, 2,000. But minimum 1,000 to have a shot. You have to hit the required sales matrix, and I would say minimum 15 grand in sales to even be in the conversation. If you're an A squad, that means if you finish out the last part of the training through February, it looks like you're on your way to being offered a territory for the most part. Okay. Final decisions for territories are going to come probably beginning of February. In fact, today, one of the things, if you notice on the agenda, we're going to talk about territories today for the first time. So some of you are really excited about that one. B squad, if you get, I guess technically demoted to B squad, it's like JV. It's not a demotion, right? Just not quite ready for varsity, but B squad still needs to earn their spot for assistant. Or you might be in what I call, this year, we call it the Andrew Evans program. Okay? Earn A squad, but out of Jeff's opinion and recommendation, suggestion, we keep you in one more year for an assistant. Okay? Right? And all three, I would say, are great situations. And we need all three for this coming summer. Focus 5. You guys have seen this so many times, and I can't stress enough the importance of, I think I did this out of order. Okay. Bless you. Okay. Anything outside of the red is minutia. You don't know, define minutia? No, just noise, just not important and won't drive the business. If you get good at these, and in fact, I had a conversation with Daniel and with Andrew about what they were strong at. We even ranked it. All right, this was my version of having a very very technical conversation with Andrew. We ranked each one, and the lowest ones are the ones he's going to work on between now and March. I did the same thing with Grace Velez. Grace Velez has run an office before. She's been a successful branch manager, never assisted, by the way. Maybe I go back for a second just to be really clear with A squad, B squad. I mentioned the Andrew Evans program. If you're a person who could earn a branch, but I would keep you as an assistant, please don't mistake that as you have to assist to be a successful branch. Grace was the #1 branch in La Isla, no assistant in any summer. I think a lot of times people confuse, well, I need to be an assistant first. That's actually not true. There's no direct correlation with assisting one summer to be a better branch. Some of our assistants from the summer have tanked as a branch manager. And Karina will tell you that. She's seen that before. She's managed them before. And some have done really well. Training is training, and kind of I guess what I'm really getting to, you kind of have to trust our judgment in a way. So focus 5. I also want you to know that I have my version of this. I have a pilot 5. So when I'm running an office, I'm not quite a district manager because I don't have the exact same responsibilities. But I want to share with you, this is what I have. And I'm sharing this because I think that districts could really put something together. And maybe this is maybe we do this for each of the districts. But see, my role when I'm in the office is to make sure I have PSM and staff leadership. So I have my one-on-one meetings. I always sit in on the pilot and the sales manager meeting, and then teach Daniel what to teach at the staff meeting. I have to focus on 4 to 8 key seminars a year and training the PSM, and I've already started that with Daniel for the summer. Receptionist program, I have to make sure I'm in the loop with the DRM. I usually run 1 kickoff a year. At some point, that's going to phase out where I'll never really run a kickoff ever again. And then owner presence, meaning I don't physically have to be here. I don't want, as the pilot manager, as the DVM, I shouldn't be here managing receptionist results. That's why I have Daniel, PSM. But I want them to have owner presence. What does that mean? I want them to feel owner presence.
Let them know who's in charge.
Sure, yeah. Who's in charge? Oh, the boss. Like that? Is that what you mean? I'm the boss.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. What does owner presence mean?
It keeps you accountable.
Okay, it keeps them accountable. Like, for example, receptionist can't make her shift. She gets someone else to cover it, doesn't let Beth know. That's just not part of the protocol. Okay? But I got a text apologizing. Hey, Jeff, I just want to let you know I already spoke to Beth, but wanted to give you a heads up. I'm so sorry because I'm present.
Yeah.
I'm still present in the whole scheme of things. Okay? So I pop in the interviews and say hi, knowing on purpose, knowing it's a really sharp interview. Hey, everybody, good luck. I'm the owner. 8-player targeting and development. Do I get touches with high flyers? Am I involved with the rep targeting? Is Daniel handing me off people that, like, for example, remember the name Adriana Montescu?
Malintescu.
A Romanian 6K fast starter who is she's going to be a future assistant in branch one day. But that's only possible because Daniel's feeding me all the development. I'm not in the office to know these people. In fact, I didn't even train her. Owner presence also. Okay. And then lastly, the PR program dynamics. Anything that's driving, in some cases, sometimes depending on the staff, running steroids, rep driven, and the hunt, which is being aggressively pursuing district managers and branch managers. Right? I know you haven't thought about this. Like, I talk to Andrew often. I know Andrew has aspirations to run his own business, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be surprised when I say, hey, Andrew, let's talk about district. Because he almost got him to do it this year. Right? But if there are people that I like, what's great is I will recruit you just like a sports team, and I will tell you I want you to be on our team because I believe in the opportunity, and if I'm talking to you about it, I think you'd be great and want you to be part of our team. Okay? I'll stop there. Any takeaways from the Big Five and Focus 5 or anything from my Focus 5 in the pilot? I also have this version, a third slide, which I won't show you, of being a division manager, not a pilot manager. And you would argue you could put one together for being a significant other, son, daughter, something else that we don't know about that's really great. In between all that, I don't know. That was another joke. I'm really not on today. I'm warming up. Warming up.
I think it's really cool to see your Focus 5 because it helps us as far as those of them that are aspiring managers and assistant managers because they know how to keep you updated, I would guess, and how to better work with you because now we know what you're mostly focused on, so we know how to relay that information to you a lot more.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. Power role play. Okay, one of the things we've gotten away from a little bit, not on purpose, but I just think the focus hasn't been there. My observation as a DVM is that people aren't understanding role play. You see, me teaching once a month at these preps and you watching videos relays information, but you're certainly not learning it. No matter how many times you watch it either. Okay? The most powerful tool, the most powerful business tool is role play. Right? So for example, Daniel has a call with a rep. Hey, this person wanted to quit today. What I said was this. What would you say? The poorest thing I can do as a leader, as a teacher, is to say, well, say this. The next best is say this, and here's why you say this. But the best thing is, well, what do you think you'd say? First, right? Leading through what?
Questions.
Through questions. What would you say? Okay, why? Okay, let me give you another thought. If I'm thinking this, now what would you say? Okay, well, let me tell you what I would say. All right, well, let's practice. Let's role play that. Or you could start with the role play. So tell me, Daniel, what would you say? Actually, you know what? Let's role play that first. Just off the cuff, what would you say? And I'm Adriana trying to get out of the meeting. Oh, you know, I'm tired and I just got back from New York and my feet hurt. Right, role play. Okay, right. And, okay, so how did that feel? See, role playing puts you where? In the moment. And I think when you're running local preps, I don't have to be the local prep and I shouldn't be the local prep to say, you guys need to role play. Like if you're coming into preps and just sitting here and watching Karina and Pal and Daniel just talk about what's coming up for the week and sign you up for observation time, and that's all you're doing in training, you're not really training because what happens when you get up in front of people for the first time? What happens when you're really running training and the rep says that, you don't go, gosh, how did that video go again? You don't. You really don't. And then you lose a few reps because you didn't have the conversations and role play and practice and experience. Someone says the best way to run an office is to actually do it. Well, guess what role playing is? Doing it. So you don't have to run an office and get your butt handed to you to do it. You can role play and do it and not pay bills to do that. So here I'm hitting this a little bit harder now, and I feel it's necessary because I think our group, if I were to grade the FC's training class this year, we are C+, B- at best at really training this year. We have great people, but great people don't create results. And so if you really want to get things going, observation, I'm really going to watch training videos. Well, I still wouldn't put money on you. I really wouldn't. I know people that have seen videos, they can quote me, but they haven't done it before, right? But I watch lots of NFL football, Jeff. I wouldn't put you on my team. I don't care. Well, this is how the play. Watch the slot drop back into the nickel position. They're going to call it, see how he read the play. I still wouldn't put you on my team. I don't know if you can do it. Right? You ever meet people that like talk like they're such good athletes? Well, if I were on the varsity team, you're not. You never were. People do it all the time. I have friends like that too. Like, well, I actually made the varsity team. I didn't play a lick. I don't want to miss it. I got 0 time other than warm-ups. Okay? No, I really just was 0 time. But you have to be in the mix, everybody. Okay? Oh, I could run a branch. I know what Andrew's doing. Well, no, you don't, because Andrew's done it. Andrew's called me to say, hey, hey. Like my favorite one's when he's laughing. Hey, man. So. But those are my favorite conversations because you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so this is what happened today. But guys, that's how you learn. Okay? Point made. If points made, say yes. Yes?
Yes.
Points made, okay. And it's active learning. And the last thing, I'm not gonna take too much time if I have to really explain this more and more. The main events, the year-end awards night, 21st, 22nd. The boot camp on the 21st is for A squad only, and you will have extra perks of being invited to that. The rest of the crew, B squad and anyone that's not on pace for branching, potentially, and any reps and the rest of our CSPs will come on Saturday. It's an awesome event. It's the best event of the year, and I would start talking to your parents now. In fact, there's going to be a mass letter sent from Scott Dennis to all of your parents. Anyone that's got an address that works for Eastern Region, your parents are going to be getting a letter recommending them to the year-end banquet. Flights are way cheap now. We found a round-trip flight to Atlanta
172.
for $172, and that's dirt cheap. So definitely talk to your parents about that, okay? So I'm going to stop there before we're going to go to break in a second. Biggest takeaways from opening comments. I want to keep them shorter. Normally I add 30 minutes, but I want to get down to work. I really want to get active with our learning today. Biggest takeaways. Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
It's a barometer. It's a window.
Yeah, it's an example.
Accurate assessment. Yeah.
There you go. Good. Who had someone okay.
Yeah, mine had to do with role play. It's just getting that fresh, whatever it be your role playing, just getting that out of the way. So then, like when you're actually doing it, you're a little bit better instead of like trial and error with actual people.
Yeah. So okay. So let's say Frank is about to run training. What's the best thing he can do for himself to perform best at training? Role play when? Role play when? Role play what? The whole thing?
What is week top 6?
Role play your big 6 before training. If you want to have a really productive phone jam Sunday because we're kicking off the Jamaica push or insert the blank push, any push, what are we going to do? And you should do, but we're going to have it's going to be in the program. What are we going to do an hour before phone jam starts for the big push? SC1, SC2, SC3, SLC, Olean, and Jamaica. Role play for an hour. And then build up excitement. And then the music played. 10 seconds, everybody. It's like New Year's. And 3, 2, 1, you hit it. And you're already excited. No one's dealing with the vibes are better. People are fresh. And people now have role played it a couple of times. What can you do every Sunday before your receptions kick off? What should you do? Role play. What should you do before a demo? Role play. Have you ever done a demo from scratch? You walk in, you were cold, and you stuttered, you messed up. Oh, I messed that up. You didn't have to. You didn't have to. So, food for thought. Good. Other takeaways? We'll go from Mullins.
I wrote down recognizing the process, not the person. That really resonated with me because sometimes we find ourselves like praising ourselves and I did this and did this, but you might necessarily not have had the same process to get to. You might have gotten lucky or things might have just fallen into place.
Yeah, that's right. The worst thing we can do is recognize someone, it was luck, and then they bank on their luck.
Yeah, like the other day I was playing basketball and I threw a hook shot over this guy and he's like, "Oh, that was a prayer. You just prayed for that one." I'm like, I tried to do that. I planned.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that shot, but yes.
No, it was right open.
No,
I was on fire.
He was on fire. Got it.
Also piggybacking off what David said, recognizing the process instead of the person. Of course, the person did a good job, but if you recognize the process, you can teach it to others as well.
That's the thing. And our business is a what business? It's a recruiting business. So we're always trying to what? Well, recruit, meaning what? Do what with our teams, our organizations? Increase our sales force and our volume. You only do that if Antoine is selling a lot of Cutco and there are things he's doing. If you're not teaching other people, then only Antoine's going to sell a lot of Cutco. Why would you do that? Oh, he's just awesome. Well, then you know what? If that's how you recognize, you know what people do? Oh, he's just awesome because and they make assumptions and they just do that. Right? Oh, well, he must know the right people. Or you say, here's why he's awesome, and this is what he does. And you have more people that go, oh, I can do that. I can do that. If he's getting results, I can do that. You start to get people that replicate processes. Right? Same thing with working out and sports and school. Other takeaways, big takeaways. Yes, from our district manager.
Yeah, I think on the role playing topic, that you can never be too good. Like even myself, I'm still learning, how to get better at training. I'm gonna switch training actually on Saturday. Since I'm not running training, I'm just gonna take 3-4 hours just to sit down and just rewrite what I say. I still use the script. A lot of people want to memorize training. Like, don't worry about it.
Well, how about this? I'm a division manager. That's technically the title. How many ever levels ahead of you? And last week I was role playing training myself at the house and a little bit in the car. And I didn't miss any of those talks. By the way, those talks I did really well in those talks. Surprisingly enough. Right, and the training before I did wing a few talks. And guess what my weakest talks were? Right, you saw it twice. You saw the value the first time with Katrina, the video, and investment versus purchase and buyer's remorse. And the first week you watched it, it was probably better than anything you could do, respectfully, right? Because you haven't done it before. But it was my best. The next week, oh, I crushed it. And it took less time because I wasn't, and we're making stuff up. That's what salespeople are really good at sometimes, just BSing and talking. Okay. I actually didn't put this on. There's a quote that says, the smarter you get, the less you talk. All right. So, okay. Let's take 10. 10, do what you got to do. Let's be fresh for the next section, please. Let's take 10. And I'm going to mute the mic. Puerto Rico and anyone Skyping in or virtual, and go and put some takeaways.
Okay, this is a pseudo break, but I'm pulling up a document that'll make life easier for this exercise. There we go.
Launch or shove. Team bro below. Just like that.
That whole talk was very helpful just because I haven't really dived into the training no-shows. I mean, I've obviously studied interview no-shows and stuff like that. Being able to understand day 2, day 3 ones.
But Steve, if you actually look at the list, everything we just list off are things that we cover in the top of the big 6. These are all things that you influence with the big 6 tops. Gotcha.
It goes back up.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to give you kind of a walkthrough of the life of a rep in the first 10 days. Event-to-event management, what you need to focus on, what needs to happen. So okay, ready? So day 1, the assignment from day 1 to day 2. It's just the assignments across the board. Assignment from day 1 to day 2 is what? There's only one main real assignment in terms of I know they're like bring this in tomorrow or bring food, but what's like the real, like we're talking about productivity assignment, right? So 25, 30 plus members. And that's the assignment that we give at day 1. Assignment that we give at day 2. That's the assignment.
5 points.
Yeah. +10 focus. Right? Focus is 10+, but the minimum assignment you to complete that they're aware of. Day 3.
First day.
First sale, get your 5 appointments done. I'm listing the assignments first on purpose because come hell or high water, think of what moves the business is if your conversations are around driving these assignments, you're heading in the right direction. What you say will be irrelevant. What you get done is most relevant. So if I'm talking to a rep the first weekend, right? So first weekend, I'm talking about first sale again, 5 appointments. Okay. Also on first weekend, book Monday through Wednesday. Sunday PM. Meaning Sunday night is an hour from 7 to 8, where you want them to book Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, book appointments. So they have appointments for right after AT1. AT1, the assignment leaving there is 30 on the appointments. Is complete 4 or more appointments between Monday and Wednesday's advanced training. It includes the appointments post AT1 on Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday. AT1 can also be given an assignment of 30 to 50 plus on a new attack list by Wednesday by AT2. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Yeah. This actually is the Kate Arbuthnot talk, an AT1 to set up. She's the orchestrator. AT2. 7+ appointments. We're coming back to Tuesday. There's no event on Tuesday. I'm talking about assignments. We don't get any assignments.
Okay, I got you.
So technically, there's no. So the appointments increased to 7. That's going to be from what day is AT2? When is the next time? This is 37 appointments through Monday.
So 7+ appointments by
Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days to complete 7 appointments. That's less than, what's that, 1.2 a day?
So that's 30 to 50 additional days.
We'll come back.
Okay.
Have a new attack list of 30 to 50 plus. Have a new attack list of 30 to 50 plus. BSB, there's no real assignment. Okay.
So AT2.
So if you focus, you got one question.
I'm sorry, after AT2, it's
Second weekend.
Oh, second weekend in the BSB. Okay.
So as long as you're making sure that if these events, these assignments are what, these are the assignments that are, explained, build value in, and given at each event. But more importantly than that, what's more important than just giving the assignment? Driving, holding them accountable, which is driving the assignment, and then you have to ask about this assignment. So for example, right, if they leave on day 3, how many appointments is the assignment? Even if you do a good job of saying this is the assignment, here's why. What's the assignment of appointments? 5. If on Monday, you don't even bring up how many appointments people did, you lost accountability for any assignments. Imagine if on day 1, your assignment is how many phone numbers, 25 to 30 plus. What if I didn't bring it up? What if I didn't ask where their numbers were? Let me see your numbers. Ooh, we have a conversation there. What if I didn't recognize? You lost all accountability in assignments. So many new managers are good at asking about assignments here on day 2, asking about this assignment. And then of course, you kind of track on day 3 how many appointments did you get. But your conversations really have to revolve around, hey Gavin, it's 3rd day. Hey Gavin, looks like you had a hard time with the phone. Let's say, hey, no big deal. Looks like you had the caboose last night. But look, I know your goal is 11, but for sure, let's just get some small victories here. You've got 4. I know your goal is 11. Can we do me a favor? Turn this phone jam. Book 1 more right now. Let's get your minimum assignment knocked out of the way. And then we'll celebrate. And then we'll go for the rest of your goal this morning. Cool. Nice job. Now you got the minimum assignment. Now let's go towards your goal. You gotta always be talking about assignments. So first weekend, when I'm talking to someone, I've got 10 appointments set up if I'm Adriana, the rep. 2 reschedule, 1 no-show. I'm only getting 7 done. Okay, oh, my car, something happened, I had to reschedule. Okay. Hey, Adriana, I know your goal was to get 10. I know you got this 10 set up. I'm a little nervous, but at least you're getting at least the 5 as the minimum assignment, but I still want you to try and hit your goal. Let's say she only has 4 done. It's Sunday morning. My conversation with her Sunday is, I know you had that big reschedule and you couldn't do any of your appointments yesterday, but you did get that 1 sale. Great job. Hey, I'm looking at your schedule right now. So you've only got 4 booked. Remember, the assignment was 5 plus. I know your goal was 11. Your assignment was 5 plus. So come hell or high water, I got to get you that extra appointment before tomorrow so I can train you properly. Anything on top of that, we'll take. But I got to get you at least 1 more. Who could we call right now? And you're driving assignments. If you drive assignments, I'm just telling you that on Monday Advanced Training 1, I want to recognize, and these are the way I recognize it. Advanced Training 1, the beginning, I like to recognize assignments, not sales.
Listen to this.
I want to, and here are the 4 categories I recognize. Okay. I recognize people who get the assignment with good sales. I recognize the people who get the assignment bad sales. Then, people who didn't get the assignment, positive sales, didn't get the assignment, negative sales. So I want to do a little bit of recognition, everybody. We have everyone, you're exactly where you need to be. But I want to point out that, remember, how many appointments do you need to complete for us to even evaluate where you are? Okay, do you remember that? How many appointments do you guys have to do for us to even know how you're pacing?
10.
Yeah, you gotta get at least 10 done. And I want to recognize the people that really got the assignment done this weekend. I know we had some reschedules and cancellations, but I do want to recognize the following people. Kayla, 7 appointments completed. Nice job, kiddo. And look what happened to your sales. You hit your second promotion, 3,042. 2 promos, $400. Let's give Kayla a applause, right? See what happened? And I recognize all the people that had that. And I want to recognize the following people. These people also hit their assignment, and the sales weren't quite there yet, but we're still in training. Gavin, nice job, man. I know you only sold $200. I don't need to worry about that. We're still in training, but you get the assignment. 6 appointments. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, nice job. Luke, okay. I know it can be really frustrating with no sales. You're actually not a caboose. You got 7 appointments done. That's 7 really awesome experiences, and we're gonna be able to train today. You're gonna hate me after a single weapon today. Nice job on hitting the assignment. When you hit assignments, that's what's most important. We'll get the sales. I promise you. Nice job. And I recognize them. I always give these guys recognition. And then I go, but I do want to point out a couple of you didn't hit the same. Daniel, I know you sold $7,000 this weekend. I know you sold $7,000 this weekend, and you made $1,000. That's great and all. My concern is your assignment. That I know will come. But I only did 4. That's awesome. Right? So here's my thing. We gotta make sure you get the assignments, and we'll talk about having a 10K faster, but I want to make sure you get those assignments. Okay, cool. And I recognize those people, and I'll say, and the following people also didn't hit the assignment. So Kayla and Luke, 1 appointment and 2 appointments. I need you guys to know that for you guys, I need you to add on 1 more appointment to this week's assignment. Okay. The assignment I give you today, I need you to add 1 more because I can't get you trained properly. So what am I doing? I'm not recognizing performance. I'm recognizing systems. I'm not recognizing outcomes. Sorry, not outcomes. I'm recognizing performance, not outcomes. Because if I have a great football team and they all played really hard, they played their hearts out, win or loss, you're gonna have wins, you're gonna have losses. But if you say, you ever have a coach say, guys, we really couldn't do any more. You guys did your best out there. What an awesome game. They were the better team today. That's a great coach because the coach is saying, look, those outcomes will come and go. We did the right things today. There wasn't a single bad thing. It's just that one kid ran over it today. There's nothing we could do. You recognize what you want them to do and get silence. If that's this conversation alone is, I say most branches don't do this. Most new offices don't follow up in advanced training. Your assignment culture already stops after the first week.
So there's no more assignment culture now. You should stop asking.
So what's the assignment at the end of 18-1? To do what? How many appointments? 4. Now, Kayla and Gavin and Luke, you guys didn't hit the assignment this weekend, so your assignment's 5, okay? So we're done? Sure, so you had it on. But here's the key. Tuesday is the key to all this. Why?
You gotta ask.
Okay? What's the key? As a manager, why is Tuesday the key?
Yeah.
PDI. You gotta drive this. Whether you see them at Champions Club on Tuesday, ideally, or you're talking to them, you've got to make sure that you say, hey, Kayla, looks good. You got 3 so far. And remember, the assignment for everyone's 4. Yours is 5. I want to make up what you missed this weekend. So tell me about those 2 openings. When are we going to book?
Yep.
So you have to be organized. If you're not organized, the pilot this summer, if you don't know who didn't hit the assignment and who needs to be asked to do 1 more. If I, in training, say, Kayla, you didn't hit the assignment. Your assignment is 5, not 4. And no one brings it up with her on Tuesday. I'm just full of shit. I'm just telling you something, but nothing's really going to happen. Versus, again, that's why I'm so big on Tier A. I'm so big on what you said. That's why this morning when Luke was late, I actually didn't really care because he communicated and he was accountable. Even little things when you say, hey, I'll text you right before I get in. Someone doesn't text, like, let's say Daniel forgets to text, oh, sorry, I forgot. That bothers me because I need an accountability, results-driven person. And when we say, your assignment's, or when we say, sorry, we agreed on this. Well, we agreed, the assignment's 4, correct? Okay, now you missed this weekend, you only got 4. So I need this assignment for this week to be 5. Are we cool? Okay, then it'll help you a lot. I want to follow up on Tuesday to make sure that happens. See, my what appears to be OCD on being taxed and micromanaging is really just an offshoot of how I really hold reps to the first 10 days. And if you get this done the first 10 days, you have low maintenance, high powered, goal hitting reps that don't need to be babied. Okay? So I understand, so the assignment here is 4. This one, maybe we'll pull up the kid art clock to watch this. What you'll do here is in advanced training, there's a section where you say, all right, let's take out your names. And you redo the list with them on Monday. We'll actually do the demo. At the end, you'll say, all right, now you need to go find those phone numbers. Say it again. So Monday, there's an exercise where you will redo the names list with them. You take all the people that reschedule and cancel, all the people they didn't think about before. And you do more brainstorming. It's essentially like day 1 names list. You redo a talk. And then from AT1 when they leave to AT2, their job is to get the numbers again. So they'll have a fresh list of at least 30 to 50 on Wednesday. They'll have a strong phone gym. AT2, this is why AT2 is important, because you need to follow up on that assignment. All right, everybody, but you shouldn't be surprised by what their assignment is here. Why? Right. Hey, Gab, real quick, your assignment is 30 to 50. How's that coming along, man? Yeah, I'm having a hard time. Okay, good. I'm glad we're talking. So I want to make sure you get that assignment of 30 numbers. You might have to have a names list piece. You might have to do the pull out your cell phone. You have the 3 columns. Who do you know well? Who do you know of? Who knows of you? Like I'm sorry. All right, Daniel, you don't have any people to see? Okay, do me a favor. Pull out your cell phone. Just go through your contacts. Write down everyone that comes up, either them or their parents. Who do you know really well? Who knows of you? And who do you just know of? You could just go through your phone and, Gavin, that's my uncle. You know him well. That's my mom's friend. I met this girl at a party, okay? You know of her. They know of you. And they write down 3 columns. And you say, all right, there's 50 more people to call. Let's get you have those numbers. So they're chicken, right? Because you have to have the chicken list talk on Saturday, on Monday. So because you drive this assignment, all of your new reps in the first 10 days come confidently to a phone jam. Otherwise, you have branches typically. If they don't follow up, these new reps that happen to somehow by the grace of the Lord show up to AT1, even though there's no management of them, they show up and they get crushed on the phone jam. And they have a bad second weekend, they're done. Or they have a bad phone time and the job's not even for them. Versus you have reps that show up with 30 to 50 names to the AT2 with just the phone jam, they crush their phone time. And then you follow up and you say, we're gonna do it one more time, and I want the same thing, another list of 30 to 50. But this should be way easier. Why? Because what are you getting on every appointment? Recommendations. So that'll be 30 to 50. That'll be due by PSP on Sunday. What's the light bulb for you? Define it. I know what you're feeling. I'm just saying.
It's like it's so crucial, like pretending manager, because it's like it's how you produce like just seeing results, getting results. That's all it is. It's like if you're not efficient with this, you're not following this for like 10 days. This literally is what produces a good rep and a self-efficient rep or rep that you constantly be on top of.
Yeah.
And communication, you have those issues. It's like if you just do this like on point for the first 10 days, you don't have to do anything. It's just like important.
Sunday, Wednesday.
I would take it a step further. I'd say this is good. I think subconsciously, in terms of the reps, this is what really drives the culture of the office. A lot more than the touchy-feely, we have fun here, play hard, work hard. Well, if you're not working hard if you're not doing this. Like, this drives the culture of the office. The culture that's really going to move a lot of product.
Recognition of assignments, not sales.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just give you an idea. Let me give you an idea of this Kate. This is a couple years ago. This is we're at a DVM meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Let's do a quick debrief and we'll go to lunch. So I'm gonna pull out your notes. I would love some. We'll do pair share and then group share. Okay. So everyone point to your partner. Who's your partner? Who's your partner? Who does not have a partner? Who is your partner? I'm just kidding. Who does not have a partner? Well, there's odd here. Oh, I see.
So one of us.
Sure. Okay, let's pair share a little bit. I'm gonna pause the music, pause the mic here. We're gonna pair share with the music at the end. So pair share, and at the end we'll share with everyone else. All right, grab a seat. The older I get, the younger the reps I work with, the more frustrating, also more mind-blowing it is when I play the original. They go, "Oh yeah, Ariana Grande."
I knew the original.
No, I know. I'm saying like, who's done this? And Ariana Grande, I guess, I don't know, I wouldn't know, did it. Puff Daddy used that loop, but originally loop done by
I couldn't tell you.
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, or that Juicy
Come
song.
on.
Juicy song was Juicy Fruit was made popular by Biggie Smalls. Juicy. You know, police tried to come to my doorstep and just trying to make money for my baby. All good, baby. Like that's from Juicy Fruit. Oh man. And I want to play more, but we're gonna get banned here on YouTube apparently.
Yes.
You will not get me, YouTube. Okay. All right. Before we go to break, we'll have 4 minutes. Big takeaways. Who'd like to share? Hello, okay, Eli.
Just drawing a full circle to recognizing the process, not the person, especially with the assignments. I realize that most of us here, we're people that we just do what we're told, but most people aren't. And when you recognize that in front of everybody and you hold them accountable, like you said, when you don't do that, but when you do, not only do you recognize that doing it is important, but also when you ask them how did this help you and how it really made them successful, especially if they did make a sale, it all clicks for the rest of the reps who maybe didn't hit the assignment or didn't hit the sale.
Hey Daniel, I want to recognize Daniel today. You know, I know Daniel, you're off weight. You didn't make weight today, but you've been in the gym every day this week, and you did all the workout routines. And I know your body hasn't quite gone into ketosis, and it will because we're doing the right things. And I know we'll make weight for the next round. But you're in the gym every day, 5 days a week, and I love it. And I know you're not as strong as all these guys right now, but you're doing the right things. It doesn't matter what you're recognizing. It can be knife sales, it can be rubber band sales. That would be interesting. Okay, so what else? What else? Frank, go.
Just to piggyback off of that, with the assignments, it's just really consistent because it doesn't really matter if you do well. Same thing if you do not so well, as long as you're getting your assignments in. Because, for example, we've had representatives in our office that did well, but they could have done so much better if they had their assignments in.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Do the power of one demo. Okay, ready? Take one demo, doesn't matter. How many did you launch? Well, I'll give you an example. Pilot has launched 300 and let's call it 50 for math purposes. 350 people this year. Kind of an off year for us, but our pilot's goal is always 400 to 600, 400 to 1,000 ideally, right? So 350. What if every one of these reps did one more demo? Well, probably not everyone's going to do one demo, right? We launch, how many people launch and don't sell anything? Unfortunately, too many people. Let's say at least 33%. 1/3 of these people actually sold with our company, right? 33%, I'm just guesstimating. So you're talking about, right? 33% is roughly, is that right? 100? 105? Okay, we'll call it 100 for math. So we'll call it 100 people that actually sold. What if each of them did one more demo? What's the average order? I would take an extra 30 grand in CPO. My PSM would take an extra 30 grand in CPO. If I were missing a trip by 30 grand, I would like that extra 30 grand in CPO. I mean, come on, one demo does a lot. And what if you moved it 2 demos? How many people, remember, what's the concept? 50% of your sales comes within your first what? And then so half of that, 50% of that comes when? How many people didn't have a better experience their first weekend, stopped selling, but had they gotten one more here, but their first weekend would have sold and done what you guys do, which is not 1,000 to 2,000 productivity. If you average out our AGL group, I don't know. What's our average productivity here? 6, 8, 10? Maybe not 10. Not that high. No, faster productivity. What's our average? No, what's our average career CPO here? Per summer productivity. I think it would have gone from whatever 6, 8, 10 to 10 plus if everyone focused on getting one more demo. So that's the key. Other takeaways. We'll go to lunch. Kayla.
the importance of creating self.
Can we shut that off, the fan, please? Blue button. Perfect. Go ahead,
The
Kayla.
importance of creating like this is the right term, but, like self-sustaining like reps that
Yeah.
like the whole point of the first 10 days isn't just to get them to sell.
Who's been an assistant or higher? Raise your hand, please. Like, there's nothing worse than the high maintenance reps. But it's our fault. Right? It's our fault first weekend. It's our fault. It's a lot of times it's our fault first weekend. Or it's a lot of our fault not setting expectations on day 3. Good. Great one, Kayla. Other takeaways? I'm sorry. Other takeaways?
Assignment culture.
Yes,
It's
okay.
just humongous.
Training is not just when you're here, it's every as well.
Yep.
What else? Yeah.
When you're troubleshooting, you're making sure you're asking the right questions.
Yeah, that's the questions are key, right? Leadership through questions. Other takeaways from our number 1 branch? Yes.
Recognizing habits in the process and not the results, and
That's right.
recognizing the right way.
Yeah. I mean, I would even say, yeah, I'll stop it there. I could go another hour on that. Thank you, Andrew. Go ahead.
This has to do with the shows, is that they show up for not something different, but for what they expect, whether it be more or less.
Okay, so we're going backwards from the assignment culture first 10 days back to, let's go to that one real quick. Can we share on why people don't show? Was that helpful?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now it's helpful. Why? Because you can see what, rather.
What do you need to change?
We need to change and be aware of. If I know that Soleil won't show up in my training if she has a bad experience on the phone. She won't show up to the 3rd day. So let me make sure, A, I teach the phone approach properly. B, I role play it properly so they have confidence. C, I'm in the room, not in the back office during the phone jam, texting my girlfriend or boyfriend or YouTubing or finishing up PDI, all the stuff that all branches and I've done before. You gotta be in there. You spent 48 hours, 2 full days training them, and the time where they're about to get the potential negative, right? SNI from friends and family. The biggest drop-off reason from day 2 to day 3 is lack of success on the phones, and you're not going to pay attention to what they're doing, following the script, how they're calling. You can tell. Let's say you can tell after David hangs up the phone, you get one of those. Oh, he had a rough call. Either he said something wrong, or some aunt was just nasty. But if I'm not there, if I'm in the room, if I'm hanging out, so many people do that, and I've been guilty, by the way. I'm not. But those examples I gave are just 18 years, 19 summers of examples. That's what I'm saying. So, good. Other thoughts? 2, 3 more on the no-shows to each event, like why people don't show. What was helpful there? Or the assignment, or this.
Well, it changes perspective on what you need to improve.
I agree. But also, let me show value here. Let me build value in what the assignments do, right? So by completing 5 assignments by the time I see you Monday, what does that create? Or what does that do? CPO, therefore all the great things that come with CPO and so forth. Then you have this 30 to 50 names list, and you'll see, maybe not this, I think tomorrow. You'll see on the name brainstorm example, we call it the Kid Arbuthnot talk, because she packaged a really nice one together. But when they come to PSAT2 on Wednesday, if you don't drive this assignment, you can have an excited rep, a committed rep. You can have a rep who wants to go for 10K faster with no names. We all know what happens when you have no names to call. Okay? And you're also driving something that we'll talk later in the video, is that when people start to want to call recommendations too soon, that's our fault. That's just our fault. That's just bad news when people, oh yeah, Jeff, I would be more comfortable calling people I don't know. Who's ever heard that before? Poor training, poor perspective. Actually, it is way harder, and you will get crushed, and you will not have any desire to be here if you call recommendations within your first 2 weeks. Right? This is later on in another video, but most and they're like, oh yeah, well I called recs early. No, you probably called an acquaintance. How many of you called people that weren't friends and family, but they either knew of you in some way or you knew of them? Yeah, that's still an acquaintance. That's not a recommendation. That's an acquaintance. If you call real recommendations within your first 2 weeks and you're still here, you are lucky. But you're like a 1% person. Right, 1%. And those people exist. I was still calling Rex. Luke is on the video. Luke's like, yeah, I'm still seeing acquaintances 2 summers later. We all are if you do it right, and if the tone is set rather. Cool? All right, let's do this. Yes, sir. One more.
I was gonna ask. I saw that you put not to pop fear bubbles. I didn't catch what you meant.
Okay, so a great question. Pop fear bubbles means fear bubbles are objections and skepticisms that they have about the job, whether I can do this, what they've heard, the product. And in opening comments, you tell stories and you address different objections and handle them at a time. So it's kind of like, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to show you a product today. And you know what? When I do a really good job, I ask for recommendations. So it's only if I do a good job. What am I doing? I'm handling an objection. And also, we have payment plans just so you know ahead of time in case you're interested. And we have trial periods so that you don't have to make a decision today. And also, our product is top notch, so there's really no comparison in terms of whether it's the best or not. And we come highly recommended, like I was recommended to you from Sally. So I'm excited. So I just handled not good quality. You can use that if you want. Not good quality. I want to talk to my husband. I can't afford it right now, all before it even started. And because I know that's something that might come up later or they're thinking. And I want to handle it ahead of time. And that's what the opening comments, that's what stop bys do. Why are stop bys better than anything you say? It's proof from a peer. Yeah, you know, I was skeptical as hell when I came here, but what I realized that when I just started following what Jeff said, I made a grand that last weekend, and it was really awesome. I only worked half a day. So definitely follow directions. Cool uncle factor, we call it. Cool uncle factor. Okay, let's do this. Now I got lunch on your own here at 1:53. Can we get back by 2:30? Is that possible?
Yes.
Like you can eat here. Bring food here. Okay, so go grab your food. Whatever you're gonna eat. If we can have you back here by 2:30, and you can eat, and we'll because I want to get rolling. By 2:45, we're gonna roll. Okay. So if you have an issue with that, communicate. 2:30 back with your food. We'll start eating. And we are going to start a second broadcast, just to be safe.